All right, let's jump right in. In the next few minutes, we're going to hand you the blueprint for the entire world of business. Seriously, think of this as your guide to understanding the architecture of, well, everything around you, from your favorite coffee shop to the biggest companies on the planet. Ready to see how it all works? Let's do this.
I absolutely love this quote because it gets right to the heart of what business is really about. It's not always glamorous, right? It's about passion, it's about grit, and that feeling of building something from scratch. It's about putting in the hard work and then getting to see it come to life.
So here's our roadmap for this journey. We're going to start with the big, 30,000-foot view, the business landscape. Then, we'll zoom in and look inside the organization itself. After that, we'll see how they connect with customers, figure out how they follow the money, and finally, we'll talk about your business journey.
Okay, first things first, we have to understand the environment. You wouldn't build a house without checking out the land, right? You'd want to know about the weather, the neighbors. Well, business is exactly the same. No company exists in a vacuum.
Now, take a look at this, because this right here, this is the master map. Every single business, big or small, sits right at the center of all these swirling forces. You've got your internal world, your team, your culture, but you're constantly dealing with external stuff like the economy, new tech popping up, and what your competitors are doing. Getting a handle on this map is step one.
So what do you actually need to make something? Well, it boils down to these 5 essential ingredients. It doesn't matter if you're baking cookies or building a billion-dollar app, you need these factors of production. They are the absolute fundamental building blocks for creating anything of value. And this visual shows you the engine that drives the entire marketplace. I mean, why does that coffee you bought this morning cost what it does? It all comes down to this super simple but incredibly powerful concept. The dance between how much stuff is available, that's supply, and how much people want it, that's demand. It's this constant push and pull that sets the price for just about everything.
Okay, so we've scanned the horizon, we've seen the world outside. Now it's time to pop the hood. Let's look inside the machine and see how a business is actually put together. What are the nuts and bolts that make the whole thing run?
Businesses are not one size fits all. A huge part of the journey is picking the right structure. Are you a solo artist who wants total control? Are you part of a band, sharing the risks and the rewards? Or are you building a massive orchestra, a corporation with thousands of owners? The choice you make here has massive consequences down the line.
And the rules of the game are completely different depending on your industry. A farmer selling wheat is playing a very different game than an airline company is. This table just shows you how much things change based on how many competitors you have. It affects everything from how you price your product to how you innovate.
And what about the vibe inside the company? That structure really matters too. A tall organization has lots of layers of bosses. Decisions can be slow, but everyone knows who to report to. A flat one is more nimble, more collaborative. You're going to discover how this internal design literally shapes the culture and your day-to-day life at work.
So, you can build the most beautiful, efficient machine in the world, but if it doesn't do anything, what's the point? A business really only exists for one reason: to serve a customer. So, how do you actually make that connection?
Now, this isn't about being a pushy salesperson. Not at all. This is about a process. It's about understanding what a customer really needs and then showing them step by step how you can solve their problem. It's about building trust.
And here is the absolute key idea for modern business. The most successful companies today don't just compete on being the cheapest, they compete on value. And value is everything the customer gets: the product, the service, the feeling, weighed against what it costs them. It's about creating an experience that feels like a total steal.
And if you want the perfect example of this, just look at Harley-Davidson. They don't just sell motorcycles, no way. They sell freedom, they sell rebellion, they sell an entire identity. That's what incredible marketing does. It turns a product into an experience and a brand into a piece of who you are.
All right, let's talk about the part that sometimes seems a little intimidating: the numbers. But here's the secret. Finance isn't just about math. It's the universal language of business. It's how you keep score, how you plan your next move, and how you make smart decisions.
Honestly, if you can understand this one image, you're halfway there. Think of cash as the lifeblood of a business. It flows in from your customers and investors, and it flows out to pay for everything from rent and salaries to new equipment. The whole game is about keeping that flow healthy.
So to grow, a business needs fuel. And there are basically 2 gas stations you can go to.
You can borrow money, which is debt financing, or you can sell off a piece of the company itself. That's equity. Each one has huge trade-offs between how much control you keep and what you owe. You'll need to know which one is right for you.
So, we've looked at the big picture, the internal structure, the customer, and the money. Now, let's talk about how all of this becomes your personal toolkit. How do you actually master this blueprint?
Well, this is where your learning journey gets a serious upgrade, because this isn't just a textbook. The whole experience is powered by an amazing AI-first learning platform called NotebookLM.
So what does that actually mean for you? It means you are never, ever learning alone. You can instantly make flashcards for any chapter to lock in the key terms. You can create your own quizzes whenever you want to see what you know. And this is the best part. If you ever get stuck on a concept, you can just ask the AI your question. It's like having a personal tutor who knows this material inside and out, ready to help you 24/7.
You know, at the end of the day, all of this, from supply and demand to marketing to finance, it's a set of tools. It's a blueprint just waiting for an architect. And that architect, that's you. So as you start this whole journey, there's really only one question left to ask. You've got the blueprint. What are you going to build? I can't wait for you to find out.